in 2 matches.
And after that game between Cambodia and Vietnam, it will be followed by Team Philippines versus Team Indonesia later at 6 p.m. and still the same preliminary round, Group B. Coach Ronnie, how are you finding all of our games so far right now for the SEA Games? You've been covering so many sports.
Well, I've really followed the Southeast Asian Games, and I've done this biennial event, I believe, since 2015. And I was really looking forward to the hosting of the country of these 38 Southeast Asian Games. And our countrymen have really played with much pride and with much passion. And as a result, we are leading the race for not just the medal count, but in terms of gold medals as well. And for the first time in a long while, our men's national team will make it to the medal phase, and they will be squaring off with the top team, or either the top team or the second place team in the other draw, because malalaman natin in our next match versus Indonesia, which is the game after this face-off, if we will end up as the top team in Group B or the second place team in this bracket.
So this is like a pre-game to what could be, the first loss of Philippines or Indonesia, as we're seeing the lineup for Cambodia. But looking back at the previous matches of the Philippines versus, first with Vietnam, well, the Philippines really is dominating right now when it comes to men's volleyball rather.
Right.
Vietnam fell in straight sets, and it was a loss punctuated by just a 12-point outing in the third set.
Right, that was against Vietnam. And looking at the lineup, of course, this team will be headed by team captain Tan Tan Tu, who has scored double figures in that loss versus the Philippines, firing 15 points on a 15 of 44 hitting clip. But of course, they are going to require the entire team effort, because Cambodia in that loss versus Indonesia hung tough, especially in the final set, en route to losing that set 33-35 and dropping the match in 88 minutes.
And we can see there's also a lot of stake for either Vietnam and Cambodia, because whichever side wins will avoid finishing the group stage with a 0-3 record. And we both know, at least, all the countries would want to get at least snatch one win, and the winner of this game naman will become the number 3 seed for Group B and automatically will get slotted into the battle for 5th place. And meanwhile, the loser will take on Singapore, the number 3 seed of Group A.
And now, the national anthem of Vietnam. You may now be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the international referees for match number 8. First referee, Lung Yun Yen from Hong Kong, China. Second referee, empowering música from Thailand. It is now time to meet the starters for both teams. First, let's welcome the starters of Cambodia. Opposite hitter number 7, Pin Sarun. Middle blocker number 13, An Sok Heng. Outside hitter number 15, Kun Mom. Middle blocker number 16, Paul Ratanak. Setter and their team captain number 17, Sun Changnaro. Outside hitter number 20, Von Viasna. And their libero number 1, Kim Sovandara. Head coach for Cambodia is Lee Jun. Let us now meet the starters for Vietnam. Middle blocker number 5, Trần Chen Cho. Middle blocker number 6, Nguyen Thanh Hai. Outside hitter number 8, Lei Quang Kang. Setter number 10, Ding Van Tu. Outside hitter number 11, Tran Duc Hang. Opposite hitter, their team captain number 14, Tu Teng Tuan. And their libero number 1, Huỳnh Trung Truc. Head coach for Vietnam is Thai Quang Lai.
And there you have it, the starters for Team Cambodia and Team Vietnam. All set, as we mentioned a while ago, there's a lot at stake here because, just to give a quick recap, the winner of this game will become the number 3 seed for Group B and will automatically get slotted into the battle for 5th place. Meanwhile, the loser will take on Singapore, the number 3 seed from Group A, and the winner of that game will move on to become the other team in the battle for 5th.
3 teams are in Group A, 4 teams are in Group B. The Philippines is in Group B with Indonesia and of course Vietnam and Cambodia. The Philippines and Indonesia will make it to the next phase. They will square off in our next match after this face-off, and the winner of that match will be the top team in Group B. Meanwhile, these 2 teams have been eliminated in contention for the medal round, something that is really unusual for Vietnam, a team that has finished in the podium, I believe, in the last 4 stagings of the Southeast Asian Games, and they have not finished lower than 3rd since 2011, and this is a huge surprise for us to see Vietnam not crossing over to the next round, and that was yun yung bigat ng panalo ng Team Philippines laban sa Vietnam sa kanilang pangalawang sunod na pagkapanalo dito sa ating 30th Southeast Asian Games.
And on your screens, Kun Mom, one of the high scorers for Cambodia,
right,
scoring last time 21 points, Coach Ronnie.
Versus Indonesia. But in the game versus the Philippines, Kun Mom was only limited to, I believe, 5 points. And right now for Cambodia, it's about trying to start out well, because in spite of the fact that they had that 35-33 loss in that 3rd set face-off versus Indonesia, they started out quite slow in that face-off versus Indonesia, only scoring 20 points in the 1st set and 17 in that 2nd set loss.
And you can see the lineup from Team Cambodia. They have a taller lineup, nothing less than 180 centimeters compared to the players of Vietnam. And let's see how, they will use that height to their advantage as they move to 2-1 right now.
We have seen throughout this Southeast Asian Games, the value of being tall and long. And that's the reason why our men's team is also making a lot of headway. This is the tallest lineup I've seen in our national team sa men's category, and it has paid off. And right now, unbeaten after winning only one match in 2017 and also winning one game in 2015. Right now, we've won two, and we have a shot in getting to the podium, a podium finish.
And a while ago, we saw Team Cambodia really taking advantage of their height with that block from Pinsarun, who scored 6 points in the previous game against Indonesia.
Cambodia had 4 blocks versus the Philippines, while in that match, I believe versus Indonesia, Cambodia had 7 to Indonesia's 8. Nung kalaban natin sila, we had 17 kill blocks. They had 4. 3.8 for Cambodia. Talked about the need for them to start out well, and they have done exactly what they need to do against Vietnam, who continues to struggle, playing without much confidence, without much fire, after being one of the seeded teams. It's a possible medal contender heading to this competition.
On your screens, you can see An Sok Heng and also players from Vietnam. 4-point lead there from Team Cambodia. Great service. Setting it up. The blockers again working so well, but that one there was no follow-up, and finally Vietnam stops the bleeding.
And that's their top scorer, of course, T3, as our colleague Anton Ross would love to call him.
What's the nickname?
T3, Tan Tan 2, who had 15 points versus the Philippines, only 15 of 44 hitting clip. Yun nasa Vietnam naman na counterpart niya, T4.
T4.
Oo, kasi 4 na names niya starts with the letter T.
Kung may T3, T4, di ba, Coach Ronnie, yung men's volleyball, may Bay.
Which is?
Sila Bagonas, forgot the A, and then Espejo.
Pwede. Abdilia.
Abdi. Did you see that there are articles for they call it the Hothletes
Pwede.
for our SEA Games?
Pwede.
So it's not just their skills, their athletic prowesses that is getting so much attraction, but of course are good-looking athletes as well. But here Cambodia stretches out the lead to 5 points.
Voy Investna led Cambodia in that loss against the Philippines with 16 points, followed by Pin Sarun and Mai Raksmi with 9 points apiece. Kon Mom was scoreless against the Philippines, and he was the leading scorer versus Indonesia. Lead down to 4 for Cambodia. Vietnam trying to get its second win after a slow start. A quick play for Cambodia, of course, punctuated by that quick play coming from An Sok Heng with 2 points versus the Philippines. 5-point lead Cambodia as we reach the first technical timeout.
And that was a Team Cambodia with a 5-point lead. As you can see on your screens, the men's volleyball watching the game, preparing because they are coming up next as they go against Indonesia. So which one will be able to draw the first loss for either countries? On your screens, Vorn serving for Team Cambodia.
Vesna on your screens earlier. There was a service ace for Cambodia as Vietnam looks to strike back against a team that they're behind by 5. They're in the first set. A free ball that turns to be a free point for Cambodia, rather for Vietnam. 4 in the first set for Vietnam.
That one was from Sun Chanaro, the captain, as Quang Can Le will be serving for Vietnam.
Scoreless against Indonesia. Isle.
Jump serve. Great reception there. And a strong blocking by Vietnam. Finally, back-to-back points.
First string of 2 consecutive points for the red shirts. Now the lead is down to 3. Les scored 7 points against the Philippines. Scoreless against Indonesia. 3.5 points per match.
And finally, Vietnam catching up to the aggressiveness of Cambodia. Ooh, and a strong attack there by, again, their #1 scorer, Mom Kwon.
You're correct. Misdirection along the middle. Coming from An So Keng to free up Mom Kun. 2 in the match for Mom Kun. 4-point lead for Cambodia versus Vietnam.
Oh, deceiving. And that was great. Right in the middle. Seeing the hole there.
From Han Tran. Nice power tip, finding the donut in the defense. Able to get their offensive rhythm finally. Vietnam was 30 of 73 versus Indonesia. Not a bad clip, but against the Philippines, really were struggling all match long versus the Philippines. Only 33 out of 100. The Philippines nearly at 50%, 46 of 94. Back set, misdirection by the middle hitter. And then a cross-court winner fired by Vietnam. Of course, by T3. Now the lead is just at 2 for Cambodia.
And that's a service ace by Tran Tien Chu.
The first one for Vietnam. Vietnam, no service aces versus the Philippines. Last time that they played and against Indonesia, they just had 1.
And they're slowly catching up because now the lead of Cambodia is just down to 1. Great service again. And the blocking of Vietnam.
1 block versus the Philippines. Philippines had 11 versus Vietnam. Against Cambodia, against Indonesia, Vietnam had 5 blocks. Indonesia also had 5. Now we're tied at 9. Timeout for Cambodia.
And you can see that was a timeout already that was very much needed by Cambodia dahil yun na nga, Coach Ori, nahabol na sila eh. They had the lead at least, you know, the most was 5 if I remember correctly, and then suddenly Vietnam came catching up after the first technical timeout.
A timeout after the first technical timeout means it's the red flag raised by Cambodia. A cause for concern. After a blistering start, suddenly Vietnam has awakened. And now let's see how Cambodia will make the necessary adjustments, because Vietnam is threatening to take the lead for the first time here in this initial set.
Tran Tien Chu serving again. Free ball. Ooh, another strong hit. And the scoring spree continues from Vietnam, courtesy of Tran Doc Han, who has now 2 points compared to his previous game. That was just 1.
Player number 11, coming off the piston
Substitution
play.
for Cambodia, number 20
Vietnam has
out,
strung up
number
at least 3
9,
consecutive
Miras
points.
Rejoicing in the court.
You have to. Hirap manalo. 1 point versus the Philippines for player number 11. Scoreless against Indonesia in the 3-set loss. Both teams have not won a single set at all so far this Southeast Asian Games.
So whoever will be winning will definitely be a great morale booster for either Cambodia or Vietnam.
You're correct. Vietnam, I'm sure, unhappy where they stand right now, especially that they won't cross over to the medal phase. Sabi nga natin, a perennial third placer behind Thailand and Indonesia the last few stagings of the Southeast Asian Games.
And the score by Tan Hai Nguyen. Vietnam maintaining the 1-point lead. Pero so far, habulan na lang sila dito eh. Serving Dien Van Tu. And the blocking of the blocks Cambodia will score courtesy of Pinsarun.
Pinsarun also had 2 blocks in that loss to Cambodia. Tied with Poi. Ratanak also had a couple against Indonesia as well. Second kill block of the set for Cambodia, but a quick play for Vietnam secures another 1-point lead for them.
Again, that was Tan Hai Nguyen.
3 points already for him, I believe, in this set. You see the fast plays, the quick sets. That is to try and elude the blockers, because Cambodia has done a good job protecting the net. They have used that line of defense to stymie Vietnam. Second service ace for Vietnam. After a very slow start, now they are up by the biggest advantage so far for them. 4 in the match for player number 11, averaging under 1 point per game the first 2 matches that they played so far.
And you can see the energy shifting for Team Vietnam. They're playing with much more fun and energy here at the second half. Ooh, a great save.
That's allowed, that's legal.
Setting it up from the back row, and I think, if I see correctly, was that a triple block?
That's a triple block against player number 15, Kon Mom. 21-point scorer, was 21 of 33. Amazing accuracy versus Indonesia in a losing cause.
And no wonder they needed 3 blocks, because he is the highest scorer for Cambodia.
Saka yung efficiency, 21 of 33. Halos bihira magmintis.
And a service error there. Point awarded to Team Cambodia. Setting it up. Ooh, quick play. And let's see. Great save there by Cambodia. But an error is called.
Seems like a net touch for player number 13.
An Sok Heng.
Correct.
There is a challenge on the call by Cambodia. Net fault.
You can have as many challenges as you want, for as long as you do not have 2 consecutive unsuccessful challenges. If you do so in a set, you lose your challenge in that particular set. Doon ka na sa susunod na set, magkakaroon ng challenge.
So you have to choose your battles.
Pwede naman, lalong-lalo na pag yung dikdikan. Kaya lang, hindi pwedeng dalawang sunod na sablay. And we saw that happen in that match between the Philippines last night and, of course, Thailand in a thriller. What started to be a dominant show by Thailand turned out to be a thriller
Ladies and gentlemen,
in the second and third
was
sets.
successful. Point will be replayed.
And that was a successful challenge for Cambodia. There was no net touch.
On deck to serve, Poi Ratanak at the service line. 7-point scorer versus Indonesia.
2-point lead for Vietnam. Serving. Setting it up. Combination play. Breaking down the blocks.
Vietnam is number 65 ranked team. The Philippines, I believe, over 100. Cambodia is
Substitution for
unranked.
Cambodia, number 9 out, number 20, Von Biasna in.
That was T3 breaking down the blocks of Team Cambodia.
Oh yes, in that match versus the Philippines, focal point of our defensive game plan was to contain T3. And he exploded and still scored 15. But eventually his efficiency went down as the match went deeper. Vietnam giving up that last point off the block point coming from Cambodia against a single blocker. Point coming from Som Heng, a 1-point scorer versus Indonesia.
Pinsarun serving. Another quick attack, but saved. Setting up in Vietnam. Soft touch. Nabangan ng Cambodia. The blockers again of Vietnam being aggressive.
Quick play. Middle hitter activated. Excellent transition
At the
plays
second
coming from
technical
Vietnam.
timeout, the
Better
score
floor
is
defense.
16 to 13.
Enabling them to
Vietnam with the
counter-attack
lead.
as quickly as possible. Up 3. Second technical timeout. Vietnam versus Cambodia.
This time around, the tables have
End of
turned
the
as
second
Vietnam is the
technical
one leading
timeout.
when it came to our second technical timeout. Again, you're joined by me, Denise Densai, and Coach Ronnie Magsanok.
This was the part of the initial technical timeout na humabol ang Vietnam. And from that time on, there's no looking back so far for T3. Looking to add another point to this 3-point advantage.
That was a strong serve.
Oh, deep. Coming from Pin
Pinsarun.
Sarun. Heading to zone 1, between zone 1 and zone 6. Well placed.
Visnavom serving. Jump serve. Great reception. From the back row, and here we see again the blockers of Cambodia this time around being aggressive as we look at this replay once again.
Misdirection was there, but the middle blocker not biting that misdirection. Excellent play coming from An So Keng with 6 points in that loss against Indonesia. Now the lead is just at 1 for Vietnam. Make that 2 on that service error coming from Cambodia. That was Vom Visna committing that service error. Visna had 1 service ace versus Indonesia.
As we see Quang Can Le from Vietnam serving. And that is too strong. Again, outside hit from Kwon Mom.
Incidentally, Kwon Mom was scoreless against the Philippines after erupting for 15 versus Indonesia. It was Von Visna who scored well against the Philippines with 16 points, aided by a 15 of 26 hitting clip.
But that down the line attack by Pin Sarun.
9 of 21 versus the Philippines. 9-point
blockers
match,
there.
eluding the double block, going down the line, beating the coverage down the line.
Quick hit there, but the blockers of Cambodia again being aggressive, and back-to-back scores for Cambodia, courtesy of their highest scorer, Kwon Mom.
Going to the open hitter, scoring against the double wall. Lead down to 1 for Vietnam. Cambodia fighting back.
From the back row, a strong attack there.
It's too much force coming to T3. T3 had 15 points, I believe, in one of their matches. T3, 19 versus Indonesia, 15 versus the Philippines. 34 points in 2 games for T3, 17 per match.
And off the block, Kwon Mom scores again for Cambodia, cutting down the lead of Vietnam to just 1 point. Serving the captain of Team Cambodia, Sun Chanaro. Combination play.
Ganda nung height. And one thing is clear for Vietnam, it's all about collective scoring, more balanced offense, as better ball distribution coming from their playmaker. Still a 2-point lead for Vietnam. Can't seem to get away from the tight clutches of Cambodia.
Doc Han Tran scoring more than the previous game already.
Wow. That was a high ball set. Yet T3 was able to fire away and score against the double
Timeout,
block.
Cambodia.
Soaring over the two blockers. Lead is at 3 for Vietnam late in the first set.
And both teams really are fighting back, trying to get that first set win, because I'm sure whoever will get this first set win, Coach Ronnie, will be able to at least get the advantage of dictating the pace and the momentum
Saka wala
of our
pa
game.
silang set na ipapanalo, Denise. Very surprising, especially for Vietnam, whom we pointed out, at least in the last 4 stages of the Southeast Asian Games, have finished in the medal round. Actually, nag-second place pa nga ito, their best finish in their history of campaigning in the Southeast Asian Games. This is just a biennial event, meaning held every 2 years, as we check out Coach Dante Elin Sinurin, the chief architect of our men's national team's campaign in the Southeast Asian Games, and also the head coach of the NU Bulldogs, which won the last UAAP championship versus the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Excellent reception, quick play coming from Cambodia. Look at the turn by the playmaker. And before the blocker was able to rise, the ball was put away by Cambodia, lead down to 3. Two rather.
Strong serve there. Another combination play, but the coverage was there. Adjust at the net. Ooh, another quick hit.
If you notice, Denise, all the transition plays, bihira yung high ball set. Para hindi makapwesto yung transition defense, makapalo na. Except for that attack earlier by T3, the rest are all quick sets. Mabababa, mabibilis. Bago makarotate yung defense at makabalik sa tamang pwesto.
And that point goes to Tien Chu Tran.
Wow.
Service ace again, Coach Ronnie, for
Correct.
Vietnam. They seem to be on a roll right now.
Especially after taking the lead away from Cambodia, reaching the first technical timeout. In a very good position at this point of the match. 4-point lead and only 2 points away from winning set number 1.
Doc Han Tran also stepping up for Team Vietnam. As he serves again. But this time
One
around,
out of 2. Not bad. Still protecting a 3-point lead. First line of offense
Substitution
should always
for
be with
Vietnam,
match
number
force.
11 out,
With
number
pressure,
16, Cao Duc Quang
take
Hê.
away the formation on offense by the opposition.
Duc Quang Cao enters the game for Vietnam. He didn't play in the previous one. So let's see what their coach has in store for the
Daming
plays.
players na hindi naglaro ng mga ibang laban nila, naglalaro ngayon, no? And Denise really delighted with what she's seeing. And once again,
That was amazing.
T3, if you see them live, Denise, you'll really be amazed. Especially when you see world-class volleyball players who from time to time visit the Philippines. And the last time I covered, one was Dante Lansinorin was still playing, and Jesse Lopez, one of the setters of the Philippines, was with him. And alam mo yung bola, umaakit kung saan kami napupunta, sa lakas pumalo.
The intensity of men's
Saka
volleyball.
iba talaga. Iba talaga. Yung ASEAN Volleyball Championships, when we cover them, iba na yun eh. But
Vietnam takes
different
set
level
number
talaga pag
1,
nakita mo yung mga
25 to
world-class
20.
volleyball players. Mas sobrang gagaling.
And that's why now it's Vietnam who will be able to get that first set win here at our men's Group B against Cambodia. Surprising everyone.
First set win for Vietnam. The first set pocketed by Vietnam in this competition.
Welcome back to the live and exclusive coverage of our men's volleyball for the Philippines 2019 30th SEA Games. It's Cambodia versus Indonesia. As you can see, Coach Ronnie, of course, Cambodia surprising everyone as it was Indonesia who was actually, leading when it came to the first half.
Should be Vietnam. The match is between Vietnam and Cambodia. Of course, Vietnam winning over Cambodia in the first set. And I think the numbers of Cambodia are on the left side, while Vietnam's numbers are on the right side. And I believe that the floor defense of Vietnam was better. And that's the reason why they were able to increase their offensive efficiency, their offensive outputs, their attacks. Eventually was more than what Cambodia had. Most of the points of Cambodia came in the early part of the first set. And although they tried to rally and mount an uprising after the midpoint of the first set, it was never enough because T3, the rest of Team Vietnam,
everyone was just contributing
on offense. Pero ang key sa kanila is not just the blocking, even the service. The force on the service line was enough to take away the rhythm on defense of Cambodia. That's why they were not able to execute their counter plays, get their playbook going. Eventually, Vietnam winning the first set, coming from behind after a very slow start.
And that's, of course, credit also to their setter, Van Tu
Tama ka.
for being able to distribute the ball because everyone really was able to score already.
That's a very good point.
Topping their previous scores from their game against the Philippines,
Yeah,
especially with Van Tien Duong and the rest of Team Vietnam, Coach Ronnie.
He had 12 excellent sets versus Joshua Retamar, 17 of 61. He was only 11 of 62 rather against the Team Philippines, and I'm sure he has a better rate, better success rate today versus Cambodia. While against Indonesia, he only had 7 excellent sets to the playmaker of Indonesia's Julfikar Munawar's 23. So that's how important yung marquee matchup between our setters, the designated playmakers of each team.
Ooh, the blocking, single block there by Cambodia. Another quick hit by Vietnam. From the back row, ooh, single block by Tan Ngai Nguyen.
That's the 4th kill block for Vietnam. That's the high ball set that you can see. And the defender will be able to identify, anticipate kung kanino pupunta. Perfect timing, first kill block in the second set, and that nails the first point for Vietnam.
And he was expecting that.
Alam na niya parating Service error for Vietnam.
I think that's his third of the match. He
Most
had 2 during the first set. That's the first for set 2. Again, setting up quick hit. The coverage from Vietnam and Cambodia. Oh, the blocking duo of Kun Muam and Phol Ratanak.
They gave up 16 points coming off spikes, coming off kills from Vietnam. And perhaps one of the reminders ng head coach ng Cambodia is to give more effort sa kanilang blocking para mamarkahan at bumaba ang efficiency ng Vietnam. But Vietnam hides the point of attack with the decoy play, isolating the spiker. May tumakbo sa running, delayed the double block, and also beat the coverage of Cambodia.
And we're tied right now at 2-2. Tan Ngai Nguyen serving for Vietnam. Setup, combination play, and a point for Cambodia. That was courtesy of Pin Sarun, as Kun Mom will be serving.
Very short names from Cambodia, no? While Thailand has extremely long names.
Especially the last names.
Correct, no?
Oh, here we go again. The blocking of Vietnam against Vom Visna.
2 of Vietnam's first 3 points coming off kill blocks against Vom Visna. He extracts a triple block, and the coverage of the libero was there but quite late. Vietnam ties the second set at 3 points apiece as T3 once again prepares to unload.
Off the blocks.
Right, off the double block.
Again, that's Pinsarun.
Pinsarun has been very aggressive for Cambodia. Pinsarun, 9 points versus the Philippines. Let's take a look at his production against Indonesia.
Service. Strong attack there by Chu.
Oh, they needed that tie at 4 once again. Pinsarun, 9 points versus the Philippines, 6 points versus Indonesia. 15 in 2 matches, 7.5 scoring average for Pinsarun. Chu tying the count at 4.
Lekwan Khan. Good service there. Back row attack from Cambodia.
Overpass. Good save.
Oh, a soft touch by, again, Visna, Vom Visna.
But the point will go to Vietnam. Let's take a look at what happened. May net touch ba?
The antenna.
Hit the antenna.
Antenna.
2 straight points for Vietnam. A rare 2-point run in the set, given the exchange of points so far.
Ooh, and again, the blocking, the net defense that Vietnam is showing right now.
Not this time for Pinsarun. Earlier scored against the double block. And player number 11 of Vietnam delaying his jump. That was Tran with that perfect timing. Second kill block, a third kill block for Vietnam in the set.
Sun Gennaro, quick set there.
And a quick play by the middle hitter, courtesy of An Sok Keng. 6 points versus Indonesia for Sok Keng.
And look at the aggression that Team Cambodia is showing right now. Just a 1-point lead for Vietnam. Pinsarun serving.
Sok Keng was only good for 2 points versus the Philippines. 4 points per match for Sok Keng.
From the back row, but great save there by the libero. Let's see. And that's a point.
Here in Manila, prior to the explosion of volleyball's ascent in terms of level and popularity, very few players are able to execute back row plays such as that. Pero ngayon, although not as much na nakikita natin sa iba-ibang mga kalaban natin, at least meron tayong Eliza Valdez, Myla Pablo na umatake from the back line na kayang pumuntos.
You see the evolution of our volleyball players.
Dahil hindi pwedeng sa open at sa opposite at sa middle hitters lang. Kailangan may bala ka rin pagdating sa back row.
And this time around, it's Vietnam who will be leading for the first technical timeout with a 3-point lead.
The first technical
As you can see, the Liga channel head, Miss Jojo Estacio, watching this.
And family.
And family watching the game. It was her daughter's birthday yesterday, if I remember correctly. Marga. So, belated happy birthday. Chu Trien Tran serving. Set up.
Ooh. Look at the approach. Look at the swing. That was a windmill swing down the line. Yung last two attacks niya kanina ay cross-court, but there'll be a challenge as that ball was called out.
There is a challenge on the call by
Kanina puro cross-court yung hinahanap niya. Now going down the line, away from the double block.
outside.
And that point
The
will
challenge was successful.
be taken away from Vietnam. Cambodia will get its 6th.
Vom Wiesner serving, and just a 2-point lead now for Vietnam. The set from the back row.
And again, if you notice,
D3.
yung approach nila goes, look at this. Ang approach, ang layo. Ang landing, nandun na sa harap ng net. And this is the norm. The new normal when you talk about hitting. Not close to the net, but still landing almost in front of the net. That is how good these players are. Back-to-back points. Vietnam looking for separation. 4-point lead for Vietnam. Let's take a look at that play again. A jump set. That's a huge gap along the two-man wall. 4-point lead for Vietnam. Looking for separation, looking to break away from Cambodia.
And the soft touch anticipated by Vietnam. Too strong. Outside. The point finally for Cambodia.
That's a rare attack error coming from a T3.
There is a challenge on the call by Vietnam, a block touch.
And now another challenge will be called this time around of a block touch from Vietnam. As we await the decision. And there you have it.
The challenge was unsuccessful.
The point stays with Cambodia. Vietnam with a 3-point lead, 7 serving 10.
Everybody will keep track of that unsuccessful challenge.
In.
Another successful challenge for Vietnam will take away another challenge for them here in the second set. Cambodia successful kanina dun sa kanilang unang challenge in the set. Piston play, well defended.
This time double block.
Bigat talaga nitong si T3.
Unstoppable right now.
Really. Chule scoring machine. 34 points in 2 matches, 17 per game. That's why we were really impressed with the way the Philippines played Vietnam, especially limiting Vietnam to only 12 points in the final set after a very close first 2 sets.
Again, the set, the back row, outside. That was an attack from Pinsarun.
Right. Away from the net, hoping for more time and space to operate. Instead, he will overshoot. And pinakamalaking kalamangan hawak na ng Vietnam, 5 puntos na abante versus Cambodia.
Duc Han Tran serving. One of the great servers here for Vietnam so far in this match. Great dig. A free ball will be given. Quick hit, but this time around, hindi na nasalo ng Vietnam, and the point will be awarded to Cambodia.
Courtesy of Mom, who has been very quiet after that first set explosion. From a high of 5, it's down to 4 in terms of lead for Vietnam.
And let's see if Vietnam will be able to sustain this lead. And again, another point for Vietnam. It was a double block.
And that's the reason why kanina sa likod pinapapalo. Para meron siyang advantage dun sa blockers, hindi masyadong malapit sa net.
Pinsarun was very much guarded by Quang Can Le.
Especially along that opposite side.
Yeah, and I'm sure ngayon bantay na talaga si Pinsarun because he's been scoring
saka
so well.
Wala ng element of surprise ngayon, Denise. Unless talagang yung huhugutin mo sa dulo ng bench mo, talagang itinago mo, pero wala ka nang itatago ngayon dahil yung mga pinaka-importanteng mga laban nagdaan na. And these two teams have been have faced extinction already. 2 straight losses, no sets won except the first set by Vietnam in this competition. Ooh, hang time move. Making the adjustment. Waiting for the double block to descend before having contact on that volley. Look at that hang time play.
Again, that was courtesy of Kwang Kanle. So kanina block this time around, he's on the offense.
Right, and a touch coming from Cambodia, 5-point lead. Down to 4 after that service error coming from T3. Tan Tan Tui.
As you can see, Vietnam parang nagbe-break even with their service aces and service errors.
Kasi mabuti ng sinubukan mo kaysa ibigay mo ng malambot. Kasi pagbalik, dali ka rin eh. So, kargahan mo na.
Set up, quick hit, cross court.
And so, that's what they do. With a very good first ball efficiency. The rate is really way up there. They're able to launch their first attack.
And again, this time around, it's Quang Can Le who is shining for Team Vietnam. Set up by Chanaro. Down the line, outside.
That's a quick strike coming from Sarun. I believe he's 2 out of 5 in the set. Oh, nice back set, delaying the second blocker.
Service there. 11 serving 15. Off the blocks.
As a defender, as a middle blocker, hindi mo alam kung kanino ibibigay. Sabay na sabay yung dalawa na umere. Combination play. Working once again for Vietnam. Up 5, 16-11. Second technical timeout.
Again, you can watch all of the men's and women's volleyball games for our 30th Southeast Asian Games live on SNA. You can catch the replays on iWant. And of course, #1 sports website sa filipinasports.abs-cbn.com. Right now, you're watching the second game today. It's Cambodia versus Vietnam. Vietnam winning 1 set over Cambodia, and until now, maintaining a steady lead as 16 serving 11. But you can see a quick hit again by Bin Sarom to stop the bleeding for Cambodia.
He has been the primary point of attack since his mom is been guarded heavily. Coverage beaten, double block pierced, chasing a 4-point deficit. Team Cambodia.
Bin Sarom quick to step up to the challenge.
Pero palitan lang ang laban din at pagpalitan lang hanggang dulo, okay na ang red shirts. Ginugulangan sila ng Vietnam dito, litaw na litaw, using their vaunted experience after being frustrated in their first 2 losses. Mahirap umuwi nang wala kang panalo, lalong-lalo na sanay yung bansa mo na nagme-medalya ka.
And that was a serve by, again, Van Tu Di, responsible for the lead in that first set win of Vietnam with an amazing ball distribution.
Almost but not quite for the defensive ace of Vietnam. Muntik nang pumasok yung dig niya roon. Mabuti na lamang for Cambodia as no one was home in zone 1. Nahulog palabas.
Oh, regalo there for Cambodia.
Over-received. And Cambodia will take it from a high of 5. Lead is down to 3. Let's take a look at that again. Over-reception leads to this quick strike.
By Paul Ratanak.
Yan ang value ng mabigat na serve. And again, when they need to score, who did they go to?
T3.
T3 delivers.
Always their go-to player for Vietnam.
And that's also a credit to the playmaker of Vietnam. Recognizing and understanding na I'll take risks. Spread the wealth. Ball distribution. Pero pag kinakailangan talaga, porsyentuhan na ang bigay.
Have to give it to the short ball.
Right.
But great take there by the libero of Vietnam. Again, set up from the back row again. This time around, hindi na nasalo ng Vietnam. From Pinsarok again.
Misdirection by the middle hitter. Isolated once again. Cambodia scoring off that play at least for the second time in this set. Too close to the net.
Single block.
Ooh. Looking for a check ball is T3. None given.
And again, they will challenge again with
There
a
is
block
a challenge
touch.
on the call by Vietnam.
Better hope that it's
Block
a
touch.
successful challenge for them.
Oh, I think it touches the thumb.
A good call.
The challenge was successful.
So they save that point, and more importantly, will still have another challenge that they can use in set number 2.
As Vietnam pulls away from Cambodia with a 4-point lead. 19 serving 15. Again, the set and the double block by Vietnam. We go to Pinsarun again,
Wow.
a double block. The net defense that Cambodia is showing. Sorry, that was Vietnam rather, but
Right.
the point will be awarded to Cambodia because that's outside.
Ooh. Still like the double effort by Vietnam. Trying to contain the points of attack of Cambodia.
Single block by
Cambodia
Myrax May.
with a fight back. Lead down to 2 from a high of 5. And again, a loaded serve for Cambodia. Nakita mo na off balance ng bahagya itong si Tan Tan Tui.
And finally, Rax May will have a point because in their previous match, he had none.
Some meltdown here for Vietnam. Just a 1-point lead for Vietnam.
Substitution for Vietnam.
Kwan Mom
Number 11 out. Number
Serving.
6, Cao Dok Quang in.
as Duc Hong Cao will be coming in. He's seeing action for the first time in today's game. A strong serve there by Mom Kwon. Great dig by Cambodia.
And again, T3 rescues Vietnam from the jaws of Cambodia. Just when you think that Cambodia was about to tie this set.
T3 says no.
Right, look at the cut shot delivered by T3.
Timeout,
Will not
Cambodia.
make 2 consecutive mistakes.
That's why a timeout will be called by Cambodia because I feel like they were slowly gaining the confidence, and then here comes T3 to the rescue from Vietnam,
Probably
and they're
try
back
to
to the
map.
lead.
We'll probably try to map out a play that will generate a sure point for them and disallow themselves to be down by 3 heading to the closing part of the second set. They're already down by a set after dropping the initial set 25-21.
And let's see what Coach Lee Jun has in store for Cambodia as they try to hopefully get a set rather, over Vietnam and avoid a sweep. 20 serving 18, T3 on your screens. Again, another strong serve there. The back set, the quick hit.
Good slow down by the net defenders.
Libero of Cambodia was there again from the back row,
Good dig by the libero.
and the exchanges of attacks from both countries, providing quite an entertainment for everyone watching at the Phil Sports
Yes,
Arena.
Still alive. Wow. I was about to say, si T3 lang talaga yung nakakapatay ng bola. But then in the counter transition attack, let's look at this last exchange. Just a simple strike on the ball. Because pabalik-balik na transition plays, may scramble na sa kanilang defensive formation ng Vietnam. will get 2 in a row against a hard-fighting Cambodia. Lead up to 3:21.18.
And that's thanks to Quang Can Le.
Right.
And that was the longest rally that we've seen
Correct.
so far, Coach Ronnie.
A rare long rally.
Oh,
Cambodia comes back again.
breaking down the blocks.
Raxmi exploding and scoring for Cambodia. Vietnam 21, Cambodia at 19.
My Raxmi, I think if I calculated correctly, 2 points already here at set 2. Since coming in,
Hugot na to no?
the spark plug para sa Cambodia. Outside hit from Raxmi. But I'm not sure if they're gonna ask for a challenge for a check ball.
He will score.
Timeout, Vietnam.
That's why a timeout will be called. Apparently, that was a check ball. So Raxmi really being the spark plug for Cambodia dahil 1-point lead na lang ang Vietnam. Talagang humahabol over a gritty and persevering Team Cambodia. And we're curious to see how the coaching staff of Vietnam, Coach Tai Quang Lai and Assistant Coach Bui Trong Tao, will they have a solution to the outburst of Team Cambodia right now in set 2 to be able to get this set?
Also looking to score in this upcoming serve coming from Cambodia.
Serving 21. Paul Ratanak rather serving. A quick hit.
Ooh, still alive. And Cambodia will score in transition. Vietnam stopping, thinking that they already had that point on their side. Pero naiangat at napalo pa.
Ni Raxmi.
Oh, and nobody moving, nobody responding. Ball watching not an option at this stage of the match.
My Raxmi catching the players of Vietnam off guard with that attack. Pero binawi from the back row by none other than Coach Ronnie, D3.
D3, normally you would say pag nag-rotate at punta sa likuran yung go-to hitter mo, may problema ka na eh. Pero siya, maski saan mapunta, kayang pumuntos. Still disallowing Cambodia from tasting the lead. Dead lead at 22-21.
And the battle is getting more intense.
Oh, that's out. Going down the line. Away from the blockers, but will not connect.
Back-to-back points here for Team Vietnam.
There is
Right.
a challenge on the call by Cambodia.
But again, a
Block
challenge will be
touch.
called by Cambodia. And based on the pattern so far, they've gotten all successful in their
Di pa
challenges.
sumala, no?
Tingnan natin kung tuloy-tuloy ang streak nila sa mga challenges natin.
You can also use a challenge, even if you know that you will not extract the point, to slow the pace down and allow your players to rest. Dahil maliwanag eh, oh.
The
To rest
challenge
and
was
calm
unsuccessful.
themselves down. Alam mo naman, nowhere close eh. At least slow it down, allow them to think. Kumbaga, di-delay mo lang yung next serve. Gulangan ng laban.
It's also a mental game.
Ooh, costly. Costly service error at this stage of the set.
Substitution for
1 point
Vietnam.
lead na lang
Number 8
ang
out,
talaan
number
for
3
Team
done by
Vietnam.
Ken.
And let's see if Cambodia will be able to pull off a comfort behind win for set 2. As Vietnam has maintained the lead so far.
That will be out for T3. A difficult angle that he took. An angled shot from the back row will not connect.
To lead us to a deadlock 23-23. Pinsarun serving. And a soft touch, single block there by Cambodia.
Wow.
Off the block hit from
Yes.
Vietnam.
Back inside, player number 11.
Doc Han Tran.
Right. He has been the best complementary player for Vietnam, opposite, of course, of T3. T3 failing to connect earlier. But Tran delivers, scoreless against Indonesia.
And now we're at set point for Vietnam. Let's see if they're able to win this. Outside.
Check.
Check ball.
Extended second set.
All thanks to An Sok Heng. My Raxmi, the spark plug for Cambodia, serving now. We're tied at 24-24. Strong serve. Great coverages from both countries so far.
Still alive.
Quick hit.
Masyadong magang yung palo ng Vietnam. And that allowed Cambodia to counter. Cambodia was down by a set point. Now they're up by a set point.
All thanks to their #1 scorer,
Timeout,
Quan Mom.
Vietnam.
That's why a timeout will be called by Vietnam.
Using his left hand, using his offhand. Isolated, you'll have no problem in that situation. Vietnam now on their heels against Cambodia.
And I'm pretty sure they're quite nervous because for the first time, Cambodia is maintaining, even if it's just a 1-point lead, this is such a crucial point of the set. 25-24, T3 probably telling his teammates to calm down. The composure that Vietnam has to have as they go back into the court.
The last serve of Cambodia was really loaded. And the reception was not really favorable for Vietnam. Kaya scramble play na sila eh.
And let's see the play. The hit.
Combination play checked.
And the blocking of Cambodia. Because of that, they'll be able to win set 2, Coach Johnny.
Cambodia takes set
What
number
a
2,
meltdown coming from Vietnam and
26-24.
Cambodia,
They now
showing
tie
us
this match at 1 set
Big
apiece.
fighting hearts reminiscent of that stand against Indonesia in a set that they took to nearly 64 points before losing 33-31. Here, they lost set 1 but will win set 2. As we approach set number 3, we'll be tied at 1 set apiece.
And what a win by Cambodia for set 2. And by the way, the players were rejoicing. It really felt the confidence and of course the boost that they got from that win, as we see again the statistics. Again, instead of Indonesia, that's Vietnam versus Cambodia. 26-24. Vietnam dominating when it comes to spikes and their aces compared to Cambodia in the first set, where they had at least 2.
And the errors of Cambodia is, I guess, that's what kind of killed the momentum for them.
Ang malaking improvement dito, once again, we make the correction. The left side should have Vietnam as the name there instead of Indonesia. Ang malaki yung escalation is yung floor defense in dig count ng Cambodia, and that enabled them to launch a lot of counter hits. And eventually, in some long rallies na nakita natin mas marami dito compared to the first set, doon na naig ng tuloy-tuloy ang Cambodia, lalong-lalo na sa duluhan ng ating pangalawang set. And Vietnam has to regroup because Cambodia is really poised to build on their momentum that they generated in the last part of the second set. Tied at 1 set apiece. We are now about to open the third set.
And all thanks to my Raxmay from Cambodia.
Siya bumuhay.
Yun nga, siya yung spark plug para sa Cambodia the moment he went in, continuously scoring for his team. Great save there from Cambodia, pero yun na nga, hindi na natuloy. And Vietnam will get the first point. Mistake by Pin Sarun. Again, also one of the top scorers for Cambodia in this game.
Incidentally, that last set won by Cambodia is also the first set that they will win in the Southeast Asian Games. Katulad ng unang set na panalo ng Vietnam, unang set din na nakukuha dito sa Southeast Asian Games.
Momcon.
You have a feeling that mas loaded yung offensive weapons ng Cambodia compared to Vietnam, and this could be the trigger for the blue shirts to outplay Vietnam once again. T3 needs help. The rest of Team Vietnam have to do their share in lessening the pressure off the shoulders of T3.
That's true. You know, Coach Ronnie mentioned a while ago, trigger. It's different. Cambodia coming into set 3, you see how they're playing with a different energy, a different kind of excitement. After that set 2 win against Vietnam, so talagang yung panalo, it really changes your mood and the morale of the whole team.
You're correct. We saw this already in that game versus the Philippines. Nung nabantayan na si Tui, nahirapan yung Vietnam makascore laban sa Pilipinas. And let's see, will help out itong si Tan Tan Tui. Because right now, Cambodia's defense is all over him.
And also the aggression of Cambodia when it comes to their offense. All players very much being aggressive, pero masyadong aggressive yung bola na yun. Rather well, that is
off the block. Off the block point coming from Cambodia. That's an easy call to make.
And Paul Ratanak finally making a score here. Set 3, he was quite quiet. Comes set 2. Pero ito na nga, everyone in Team Cambodia contributing to a 2-point lead against Vietnam, 3 serving 1. And finally, Vietnam stops the bleeding.
Ang naging isang problema pa ng Vietnam dun sa set 2, yung reception efficiency nila. When the set was on the line, that was the part of the match that they gave up some easy points because they could not receive well, they could not attack. And hindi loaded yung mga palo, counter plays. Hindi na bumabalik para maka-atake pa sila.
Tran serving. A strong serve,
right,
a service ace.
That was missing from them in the second set. In the first set, they had at least 3 service aces that worked really well for them. Sinabi nga natin, they disrupt the offensive flow by distorting the offensive positions because of loaded serves. Nawala yan, lalong-lalo na dun sa bandang dulo ng pangalawang set.
And with that service ace from Tran, we're tied at 3-3. But I think that was a service error. Point awarded to Cambodia, their top scorer. One of their top scorers, rather, Paul Ratanak. And you can see, as I mentioned a while ago, Cambodia does have a higher average of height for their players, and they're taking advantage of it now. But you can see Vietnam finding a way despite the tall blockers of Cambodia.
Number one, their efficiency sa first ball has to be constant. That's the only way for them to be able to attack right away. And iksian yung mga rallies kasi pag humaba, doon sila nadadali. Kasi hindi na napupunta kay T3 parate yung palo.
Off the block there, an attack by
Sarun.
Pin Sarun.
Sarun has been the focal point of their offense. Misdirection by the open hitter, and then on the opposite side, Sarun will deliver. Kailangan niyang slight second opening and he will score.
But nabawi ng isang service error from Sarun to tie us again at 5-5.
In terms of height comparison, the players from Cambodia are definitely taller than Vietnam.
T3 serving. Loaded serve from T3. Off the block.
Again.
Raxmi.
A player coming off the bench but was lethal against Vietnam. Especially in the closing part of the first set.
6 serving 5. Cambodia in the lead with 1 point. But a service error again. We're seeing a couple of errors from Cambodia early on in set 3.
Raxmi did not score against Indonesia, played 1 set, the third set against Indonesia, but against the Philippines, Raxmi had 9 points. Coming on with 2 of his 9 points coming off kill blocks.
And the highest scorer, Mom Kwon, scoring for Cambodia off the hands of Van Tu D. Seven serving 6. And this time around, compared to the previous sets, dikitan lang po ang Cambodia and Vietnam. Back row attack, breaking down the block of Cambodia.
The approach comes from the back row. But where he ends after attacking, look. Parang nasa harap din kung pumalo itong si Tan Tan Tuan. Oo. Ibang klase talaga.
And I think we're at our third deadlock of the match, 7-7. An exchange of attacks from both Cambodia and Vietnam.
At the set's first technical timeout, the score is 8-7 in favor of Cambodia.
Points of attack, deeper artillery is what we're seeing of Cambodia versus Vietnam. Up 1, 8-7, first technical timeout.
Again, you're watching the second game of our men's volleyball for the 30th Southeast Asian Games, Vietnam versus Cambodia. And after this, it's going to be Team Indonesia versus Team Philippines. You're joined by me, Denise Tensai, and Coach Ronnie Magsanok. Cambodia versus Vietnam, both 1 set apiece.
And the 2 matches that you will be seeing in succession will be all in Group B. These 2 teams will not make it to the medal phase. These 2 teams have already been eliminated from the running, while Indonesia and the Philippines will fight for the top spot. The top spot will face off against the number 1 team in Group A, rather the number 2 team in Group A, while the loser of the Indonesia-Philippines face-off will square off with the number 1 team of Group A, and that could be Thailand. So
Free
kung
ball?
makakaiwas ka ron din sa Thailand habang maaga, umiwas ka muna. Para siguradong, kung battle for gold ka na, siguradong may medalya ka na.
And an error there from T3 to give the score to Cambodia. 9 serving 8. Mom Kwon.
What an ace. And again, some first ball problems for Vietnam. Mas kargado yung mga serves ng Cambodia in the last 2 sets. And that has caused problems for Vietnam's reception. 2-point lead Cambodia over Vietnam.
Another strong serve there by their highest scorer.
Chenaro setting it up and a soft touch by Pim Sarun, but that is an error.
Right, Vietnam dodging a bullet. At least finally we are able to see a middle hitter getting activated. At least may touch na. Kanina halos player number 11 and player number 14 lamang yung pumapalo para dito sa Vietnam.
Tran, another great serve. Chenaro to Sarun and a block by Vietnam.
That was also a missing arsenal for Vietnam.
By Le and Nguyen.
Right, in that second set loss. Naglaho yung kanilang matining at matibay na net defense. Cross court was taken away down the line. Was tried to be extracted by Cambodia. And that will not be allowed by Vietnam to happen. 2 straight points for Vietnam. Ties the count at 10 apiece.
And the point will be awarded to Cambodia.
Service error once again for Tran rather. It's either pasok na pasok yung service niya o pasok sa kalaban yung puntos.
Parang palitan rin yung service ace and service errors by Duc Han Tran.
Combination play. Vietnam will score off that. They needed that dahil bantayado si T3. Oh, nice. Basta meron lang magpakagat. May tumakbo lang para mabantayan. At least may isolation plays na parating.
That's true. Le really waited for Chenaro to go down para hindi siya ma-block with that hit.
And 2 straight points.
Timeout, Cambodia.
They take the lead at 12-11. Player number 6 getting the job done.
And now it's Vietnam who is leading with 1 point after this intense third set. You can see finally Vietnam also trying to get back their momentum and the energy as Cambodia will try to find solutions for the outburst that Vietnam is having right now.
Tan Hai Nguyen hurting the defense of Cambodia. His last point came off that service ace. And just when we thought that Cambodia was having the momentum, Vietnam comes fighting back.
As they did in the set 1.
Correct.
That's also what they did. So let's see if we will follow the same pattern. As you can see, of course, mga ating kapamilya, fans of volleyball awaiting and enjoying the volleyball action that the SEA Games is providing for them. And I'm pretty sure they're looking forward to the game Indonesia versus Philippines. As we go back to our ball game, inside point by Cambodia from Pin Sarum.
Pin Sarum, the biggest thorn against Vietnam's defense, attacking zone 6.
Tutayas at 12-12 as he goes to the service area. Setup, combination play. Again, the net defense of Vietnam not enough as Cambodia will be able to snatch another point.
Was a smart hit coming from Cambodia.
Number 5 out, number 18,
Scoring off the block.
in.
Vietnam will make some personal adjustments. They've lost their 1 point cushion or 1 point lead. Cambodia now on top by 1.
And this time around, active net defense from Cambodia. Raxmi. Again from the back row, and the double blocking was not enough as Tran gets a point for Vietnam, stopping the bleeding.
Without T3 inside, Tran is the focal point of attack. Back row play for Tran. And I thought that they got lucky in that last attack coming from Tran. He will get majority of the touches in the front row as T3 is now in the back line after this serve.
I'm always in awe when T3 serves. It's just amazing.
Kailangan niyang gawin dahil pag soft serve lang, hindi nababalik sa kanila.
Oh, that setup by Chenaro to Sarun.
And again, Sarun down the line this time. No problem. Papaluin mo sa open, walang problema. Dali mo sa opposite. Look at the angle taken. Misread by the libero of Vietnam.
And Chenaro just giving the balls to Sarun, who is on fire right now for Cambodia. 14 serving 13, combination play.
Excellent first ball, leading to that combination play. Tied at 14 once again.
courtesy of Le. Quang Can Le from Vietnam. Tied again at 14-14. Chanaro
Excellent read.
with a point of his own.
Master of deception. And again, when you have a good reception, kayang dumiskarte ng setter ng ganyan.
You go to Tran.
Off speed.
Great save there by Chanaro.
An attempted dump play by Vietnam will be defended.
Quick reflexes by both countries. Miscommunication there.
Right.